Imagine a noisy battlefield with swords gleaming, shields clashing, and warriors shouting. Amidst this chaos, there were men who didn't just fight, but led. These were the Centurions, true heroes who commanded soldiers and decided the course of battles. Now imagine this. What makes someone stand out among thousands of warriors? Who were the Centurions so remarkable that their stories have survived for centuries? In this video, we'll journey to ancient Rome and uncover the 10 greatest centurions in history. But beware, these are no ordinary tales. They are accounts of bravery, of fighting against impossible odds, of decisions that altered the fate of entire armies. Get ready to meet men who faced not just fierce enemies, but also betrayals, deadly ambushes, and even death itself. Are you ready to hear how one centurion single-handedly stopped an entire army, or how another defied death to save his comrades? Be warned, these stories might make you feel the tension of the battles and the weight of the choices made by these legendary leaders. Let's embark on this epic journey and discover who these true giants of the battlefield were. Hey, you there! Diving into this epic story, have you ever imagined how many incredible battles we still have to explore together? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any adventures like this. And if you're enjoying these stories of courage and leadership, leave a like right now. It helps the channel a lot and shows that you're a fan of the legacy of the great heroes of ancient Rome. Shall we continue? Roman centurions were like the super leaders of the Roman army. Imagine a massive group of soldiers needing someone to organize everything and lead them into battle. They didn't just give orders, they were courageous heroes who inspired others to fight with strength and bravery. These centurions were highly respected and admired, almost like the superheroes of their time. Lucius Vorenus and Titus Pullo were like those classmates who are always competing to see who's the best, but deep down, they help each other when it matters. They were so brave and skilled that even Julius Caesar, the great leader of Rome, wrote about them. In battles, despite their rivalry, they proved they could work together as an unbeatable team. During a particularly difficult battle, Lucius Vorenus and Titus Pullo found themselves in the middle of a siege by the Nervii, their enemies. Pullo, impulsive as ever, charged out of the camp alone to face the foes and got himself into trouble. Vorenus, seeing this, didn't hesitate. He ran to help his companion. Together they fought side by side, facing the enemies with incredible courage. When they returned to the camp, they were hailed as true heroes, showing that even as rivals, they were the perfect team in moments of danger. After all this, Titus Pullo had to make a tough decision during the Roman Civil War. He was fighting alongside Caesar, but when things got complicated, he decided to switch sides and join Pompey, Caesar's great rival. Pullo ended up defending Pompey in Greece in a crucial battle. Meanwhile, the fate of Lucius Vorenus took a mystery. No one knows exactly what happened to him after Caesar's great campaigns. It's as if his story vanished, leaving only the memories of his great battles. Marcus Caelius was a highly respected centurion who fought in the disastrous Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. Imagine being in a dense forest, surrounded by thousands of enemies with no way to escape. That's exactly what happened to him and 20,000 other Roman soldiers, ambushed by Arminius, a Germanic warrior. Marcus fought valiantly to the end, but ultimately lost his life in the catastrophe. Centuries later, his tombstone was discovered, engraved with his achievements and bravery. To this day, he is remembered as one of the great leaders of his time. Now imagine a centurion who started as an ordinary man, but rose to the top and even became emperor. That was Maximinus Thrax. Born in a humble village, he climbed the ranks of the army through sheer courage and skill. Maximinus was so remarkable that his soldiers proclaimed him emperor. He became the first plebeian to rule Rome. But his story had a tragic ending. After 3 years in power, he was betrayed and killed in a revolt. Even so, his journey of perseverance remains one of the most incredible in the Roman Empire. Gaius Christinus was the kind of soldier you'd want by your side in battle. Starting as an ordinary soldier, he caught the attention of Julius Caesar, who chose him to lead the famous 10th Legion. Christinus was a fearless leader, always at the forefront, inspiring his men by example. At the Battle of Pharsalus, He knew it would be a decisive clash against Pompey. Before the fight, he reportedly said something like, "Today I will give my life to secure Caesar's victory." During the battle, he led the initial attack, breaking through enemy lines but was mortally wounded in the process. Despite this, his bravery helped seal Caesar's victory. To his comrades, Crestinus was more than a hero. He was a true example of sacrifice and leadership. Spurius Ligastinus was like that student who always wins honor awards, except in his case, they were accolades for bravery in combat. He was awarded 34 times for heroic acts and received 6 civic crowns, an incredibly rare honor. Spurius fought in major campaigns, such as the victory over the Macedonian phalanxes and later in Spain, where he helped General Cato achieve success. He was promoted several times, eventually reaching the rank of primus pilus, the highest position a common soldier could attain in the army. Over his 22-year career, Spurius became a living legend, inspiring other soldiers with his determination and courage. In the end, he gave an emotional speech before Rome's highest authorities, pledging to always give his best for his men and his city. Unsurprisingly, he was promoted once again. Publius Sextus Baculus was a centurion so brave that even Julius Caesar wrote about him as an example of strength and leadership. Picture a wounded soldier, barely able to stand, yet deciding to return to the battlefield because he knows his comrades need him. That's exactly what Baculus did. In a battle against the Nervii, he was so injured that he had been taken away for treatment. Even so, he borrowed a shield and returned to fight, rallying the soldiers to hold their ground. On another occasion, he helped Caesar escape a surprise attack, saving his life. For this, Baculus earned the nickname the Staff, a fitting name for his strength and the symbol of his leadership. The command carried by the Centurions was so admired that their men knew if he was around, there was always a chance of victory. Lucius Siccius Dentatus was so incredible that they called him the Roman Achilles. He was an ordinary plebeian, but his courage and skill in battles made him stand out like no one else. Imagine a soldier who fought in 120 battles and earned 160 medals. That's right, he was a true legend in the army. Besides being a fierce warrior, Lucius participated in duels against incredibly strong enemies, emerging victorious in at least 8 of them. His body bore 45 scars, each one telling a story of bravery. But it wasn't just on the battlefield that he shone. Lucius also fought for the rights of plebeians in the Roman Republic, becoming a symbol of resistance and justice for the people. He showed that, even coming from humble beginnings, it was possible to become an unforgettable hero. Marcus Cassius Scaeva was the type of soldier who never gave up, even when all seemed lost. In a battle against Pompey, Julius Caesar's soldiers were at a massive disadvantage, practically without hope. But Scaeva, with his experience and courage, raised the morale of the men, saying, "If we're going to fall, let it be fighting like true Romans." He led a daring attack and faced several enemies alone. During the fight, an arrow struck his eye, but he didn't stop. With a brilliant strategy, he pretended to surrender to lure 2 enemies in, and at the right moment, counterattacked, defeating them both and escaping with the help of his comrades. Caesar was so impressed by Scaeva's bravery that he promoted him to the highest rank of centurion, primus pilus. From then on, Scaeva became an example of strength and determination, proving that even in the worst situations, courage can turn the tide. Sempronius Densus was an example of loyalty until the very last moment. Imagine being caught in the middle of a conspiracy to overthrow the emperor you swore to protect, watching everyone around you switch sides. That's exactly what happened to Sempronius as he tried to shield Emperor Galba. Even under pressure from the conspirators to betray Galba, he refused. Armed with his vine staff, a symbol of his rank as a centurion, he attempted to stop the soldiers poised to attack the emperor. When that failed, he drew his sword and faced the traitors alone. He fought valiantly, but was eventually wounded and fell. Even then, Sempronius did not give up until his very last breath. His courage and loyalty became legendary. Even in an impossible situation, he showed that honor and duty came above all else. That's why Sempronius is remembered as one of the most heroic centurions in Roman history. These Roman centurions were true heroes of their time, each leaving behind an incredible legacy of bravery and loyalty. Whether saving comrades in battle, leading armies in impossible situations, or even defying death itself, they stood as examples of leadership and courage. But what's even more impressive, despite facing countless challenges, they never gave up. Each one demonstrated that willpower and the fighting spirit could overcome any obstacle. These stories teach us that even in the worst situations, there's always room for courage and determination. That's why Roman centurions remain enduring symbols of Rome's history. And now, to end on a high note, we can say that these centurions were not just soldiers. They were living inspirations for everyone around them. They led by example, motivating their men to give their best, even when all seemed lost. Be it Varenus and Pullo facing enemies side by side, even as rivals, or Lucius Dentatus, the Roman Achilles, amassing victories in epic battles, each showed that a true hero is not one who seeks glory, but one who protects their people and fights for what they believe in. These stories are not just about Rome, they're about resilience, teamwork, and never abandoning one's own. And who knows? By hearing these adventures, we might find the inspiration to face our own challenges with the same courage they had. After all, we all have a little bit of a centurion within us. Beyond all this courage and loyalty, Roman centurions also leave us with a crucial lesson. True leadership isn't about commanding others, but about being on the front lines, willing to fight for the greater good. Each of these men faced situations where giving up seemed like the easiest path, but they chose to persevere, protect, and inspire. Whether it was saving allies amidst deadly battles, like Publius Sextus Baculus, or remaining loyal to the end, like Sempronius Densus, they show us that character and determination can shine even in the darkest moments. That's why their stories remain alive, not merely as historical facts, but as examples of how courage, honor, and teamwork can change destinies. So the next time you hear about Rome, remember, these heroes didn't wear capes, but armor and shields, leaving behind a legacy that transcends centuries. These tales of courage and leadership from the centurions also demonstrate how they were masters at turning hardships into opportunities. When all seemed lost, like in the case of Marcus Cassius Sceva facing overwhelming enemy forces, they found ways to turn the tide. This teaches us that even when surrounded by challenges, determination can lead to astonishing achievements. Another remarkable aspect is how these men placed the lives of others above their own. Think of Publius Sextus Baculus, who, even gravely wounded, left his resting tent to encourage his soldiers, or Lucius Vorenus and Titus Pullo, who, despite their rivalry, proved that teamwork was the key to victory. In the end, centurions were not just soldiers. They were leaders in the purest sense, people who inspired loyalty, respect, and courage. That's why their stories are not just about battles, but about values that still resonate today. They remind us that the true hero is the one who, even when afraid, keeps fighting for what they believe in and for those standing beside them. And how can we not be impressed by the twists and turns these centurions faced? Maximinus Thrax, for example, began as a humble soldier, just another figure in the legions. But through effort, skill, and courage, he rose to the top, being hailed as emperor, the first plebeian to rule Rome. Though his reign was brief, his story is a lesson that no one needs to remain bound by their origins. Determination can take us much farther than we imagine. Marcus Caelius, on the other hand, reminds us that even in defeat, there are stories of greatness. He died in the ambush at the Teutoburg Forest, one of Rome's greatest defeats, but his name was immortalized because his courage and dedication were inscribed on his tombstone. It's as if, even in defeat, he achieved a victory by inspiring future generations. These men were not perfect, but they were immensely dedicated. They made tough choices, faced powerful enemies, and often paid the ultimate price for their loyalty and bravery. Their stories are a testament to never underestimating the power of determination and leadership, no matter how great the challenges may be. And it's impossible to speak of these centurions without remembering the impact they had on their legions. They weren't just skilled warriors, they were true role models for their soldiers. Spurius. Legastinus, for instance, was admired by everyone around him. He received 34 awards for bravery and fought in so many battles that his presence on the battlefield alone was enough to inspire confidence in those around him. Another example is Lucius Siccius Dentatus, the Roman Achilles. With his battle scars and the dozens of honors he accumulated, he not only protected Rome, but also demonstrated that the strength of a leader lies in never giving up, even in the face of the greatest adversities. He carried with him proof that courage and loyalty are always rewarded. These men had something else in common. They all believed in something greater than themselves. Whether defending their comrades like Titus Pullo and Varenus, or risking their lives for the good of the Republic, like Sempronius Densus, they understood that their actions would echo far beyond the present moment. The stories of these centurions are not merely historical accounts, but true examples of how courage and determination can make a difference, whether on the battlefield, at work, or in our own lives. After all, it's not the size of the challenge that defines a hero, but the size of their will to face it. These lessons from Roman centurions make us reflect on what it truly means to be a leader. Each of them showed that leadership is not just about giving orders, but about inspiring, protecting, and motivating others to overcome challenges. Publius Sextus Baculus, even when wounded, led his men with such unwavering determination that he managed to turn the tide at critical moments. He demonstrated that, even when we are at the limits of our strength, we can still find a reason to keep going. And who isn't moved by the courage of Sempronius Densus, who fought to his last breath to defend Emperor Galba? His loyalty, even in a hopeless situation, reminds us that values like honor and integrity are worth more than any reward. He faced death with dignity, proving that true strength lies in never betraying one's principles. On the other hand, stories like that of Maximinus Thrax show that with determination, it is possible to rise from obscurity and achieve unimaginable feats. He teaches us that, no matter where you come from, it is your courage and dedication that determine how far you can go. These narratives, more than just inspiring, are a call to act with courage in our own daily battles. Whether facing challenges at work, protecting those we love, or fighting for what we believe in, we can always draw from the spirit of these centurions, who even centuries later continue to inspire us to be better. If you've made it this far, it's because you've fallen in love with these incredible stories, haven't you? So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to keep following these epic journeys from the past. And of course, leave a like to help us bring you even more content like this. Now tell us in the comments, which of these centurions did you find the most impressive? See you in the next video, and let history continue to inspire us.